Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Kaba Ilco 861E-03. This is an aluminum collar and a polished brass type finish. So this is it's a cylinder ring or a trim ring. Well, maybe a cylinder ring would be a good term for this, or a blocking ring or a stacking ring. This is used to basically fill the distance between the face of whatever you're installing the cylinder into and the underside of the head of that cylinder. An application where you would very commonly use this would be in aluminum storefront, where you could really get by with a cylinder that was 13/16 or even 3/4 inch in length. It probably would work. But instead, really the shortest cylinders you'll get will be 1 inch or maybe 15/16, but really 1 inch, unless it's a very unusual mortise cylinder where it is 3/4. Kaba Ilco does make one cylinder that's 3/4. It's a 4-pin, available only in one keyway only. If I remember later, I'll show that to you. But 1 inch, 1.125 inch, 1.25 inch, and then 5/8 inch, 3/4 inch, and then several lengths going way out. 6 inch can be done. Technically longer can be done, but the longest I've ever seen is a 6-inch mortise cylinder. If it's interchangeable core, whether it be large or small format, you're going to be dealing with cylinder lengths at least 1.3 inch, 1.5 inch, 5/8 inch, depending on what it is. So if you had an 1.3 long 7-pin best small format mortise cylinder housing, 1.3 inch, and you've got an 1.75 inch aluminum storefront door, yeah, you're going to need a collar, and this isn't the right size. This is too thin. This is just 5/32 of an inch. Let's take some basic dimensional properties. The E in the part number means 5/32, and my caliper tells me that's 0.155. So yeah, that's going to be basically 5/32. And OD is going to be 1.396 OD, and ID is going to be 1.178. This will have a very small, it's hard to see with your eye, but there's a chamfered edge out here and one on the inside as well. Now, where are you going to use this? Let's talk about that right now a little bit more in detail. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. As I just said, blocking rings or trim rings are going to be extremely common. You're going to need them in almost all instances, but not every instance, but in most. When you are working with mortise or rim cylinders, you'll need to think about, do I need a trim ring? You'll have to think that through. The E in the part number again relates to the thickness, and Kaba Ilco can make other thicknesses within a range of, I think, about 3/32 to 1/2 inch. That may or may not work. We can certainly get you cylinder collars that will be much longer. We've done them maybe 1.25 inch. I one time needed to take a Siegel deadbolt, double cylinder deadbolt, which meant the rim lock, the rim bolt had a cylinder on the inside rather than a thumb turn. Had a rim cylinder on the outside, which made it double cylinder. Well, I needed to get not the standard Siegel keyway on the inside, but the client wanted to do a Schlage C keyway. No. Maybe it was Quickset. Now, I know it was Schlage C. Now, once upon a time, Primeline, who owns Siegel, the name Siegel, and Siegel is a lock that went back to about the World War I era. A New York City police detective, I forget his name, but he came up with the Siegel lock. And his name's not Siegel. But you see the Siegel style lock in many places, and most certainly in New York. It's everywhere. Residential applications. It's a very durable lock that's easy to install. You can visually see that it's locked or unlocked. Well, this client has a brownstone. It was on the north side of Chicago, like in the Ravenswood area, if you're familiar. Really nice Baldwin lock on his front door. Had which took a Schlage C keyway. Had other locks on the job that were Quickset, but he changed those to a Schlage F-Series lock. Now he's got Schlage everywhere. Wants to replace that Siegel that he's got on the kitchen door going to the stairs or whatever it was. And it's double cylinder because there are windows on the side, and could only come up with the Seagull keyway on the inside. And that's all that was available. And I took the Seagull lock and studied it, determined what would need to be done to be able to remove that cylinder, put on a mortise cylinder after I've modified it by drilling it, tapping it, being able to get it attached to the cast housing of the Seagull lock, with the proper built-off tailpiece to actually operate the vertical bolts. But what I needed was a really long cylinder ring that it could sit into. And I was able to turn to Yale for that, and they made it without any trouble at all. Actually, I happen to have an example of one right here. That is this, by Yale, just about an inch long, whatever that is. 1 inch, yeah. So it can be done. You need them longer, thicker, etc. That can be done. And that's talking about longer lengths, but Kaba Ilco probably up to about 1/2 inch, minimum 3/32. You can stack these if you need to. I don't like to do that because it's a bit unsightly by seeing the seam, and plus, when you stack them, you know, it's gonna look like that. So you may not want that. There you go. They're sold as each. By the way, the 10 in the part number refers to how the factory packages them. They sell them to distribution in packages of 10. We then sell them to you in any quantity that you want. Let's switch to the screen view and let's take a closer look at the supporting information. If you've not hit subscribe yet, we would very much appreciate if you did, and hopefully you're enjoying this video. Now, let's get back to it. Okay, here's the item we are looking at. Let's take a look at some photographs that we have. There is that collar right there. You can take a look at it. Just a close-up view showing that inner chamfer, the outer chamfer. Chamfer is just a 45-degree angle where you're easing the edge or breaking the edge. It's a chamfer is what you're doing. Now, there is information down below. There's a technical drawing here, and that is an inside document, so to speak, from Kaba Ilco that they shared with me, just to be able to see what all the different part numbers and sizes and whatnot looks like. I show it to you. There's really no reason for you to look at that, but it's a resource, so we put it there. It's made of aluminum, and it has a polished brass type finish. I would imagine it's anodized. Then we have down here an ever-growing table of other rings, meaning thicknesses, and links to them, and links to any associated videos that go along with them. And this is ever evolving. We're always adding more videos. Other trim rings are here as well, which is really handy to be able to see. So if you know that 5/32, which is what we're working on now, is not the right size, and you really need one that's going to be, you know, say 3/8. Okay, well, just look for 3/8. Right there. 861Q. Or 11/32. A little bit bigger. 861P. You can click on that. You can fire up all of the 861Ps. Promise it will occur. It does happen at some point. There we go. They're all your 861Ps. The difference here is just the finish that we're seeing here. All right. Now, I do want to show you the link below this video as seen here to the manufacturer's page. And when you click on that, you can view not only all of the Kaba Ilco products we sell by means of this horizontal navigation, but also a link to the manufacturer's website as seen here, but also a link to the brass cylinder manual. I'd like to show that to you. Actually, I want to show you an older version of it because it has this is a very discontinued, out-of-date document. The 45 series deadbolts that look just like this, they're going to include a trim ring, and it probably is an 861E or something in that range. The point of showing you this document is that you can see the manufacturer's original information regarding all of their trim rings, which is here. The different sizes that are here, obviously the different finishes. I had also mentioned that 3/4 inch length mortise cylinder, and it's the 7124. And I do believe it's available in one keyway only, which I think is Lockwood, like I said. Might be discontinued. Okay, 7124, yeah, it's a Lockwood keyway only, 3/4 inch length. Sometimes you'll have a need for, you've got a mortise lock stuck into a door that's abnormally thin, like 1.5 or 1 3/8, and people will call us for these cylinders. And they're not available in any other keyway, so be mindful of that. If people ask, it's just, yeah, nope, Lockwood only is what that's available, and you can't get it in Schlage or anything else. So when you have a need for a longer, when you really have a need for a shorter cylinder, you'll need trim rings, is why I point that out to you. Sorry, we were voice recording. Okay, now let's wrap up this video on camera. If you've made it this far into this video, you must be determined to see it through to the end, and we appreciate your hanging in there with us and watching this entire video. It means a lot. It takes a lot of work to create these videos in the sense that, you know, it's time taken away from doing other things. However, the advantage for me personally of creating these videos is the fact that it does allow myself to either learn about something new, to reacquaint myself with something, or to reinforce what I believe that I already know. Any comments that you might leave down below would be greatly appreciated. Thank you. Now, a proper installation of this cylinder is going to be such that it's underneath the head of the mortise cylinder or rim cylinder. You can go on a rim cylinder as well. You could use this in key bypass switches or exit device trims, mortise locks, just, you know, cylinder housings. The concept is that it's to be loose, not loose so that it rattles, but loose so that it will rotate. Should someone try to put a pipe wrench on the head of the cylinder and spin that cylinder off, well, you've got a trim ring there that is going to be ever so slightly greater than the head of the cylinder, which is why I gave you that dimension early on. And the concept is that will rotate. It's a anti-bypass sort of feature to trim rings, is literally why you want that to happen. Okay. You might also need a wave washer. If you were to search our site for wave, you know, just wave washer, you'll find it as well. It's literally a washer that's a round washer, and it's shaped like a wave, and that you might put the wave washer down, then the trim ring, and then the cylinder, and as you tighten the cylinder, it will slightly compress that wave washer to keep that collar tight on the door, but it'll still rotate. So if you have any questions on the 861E, I think this is an E, right? Yeah, 861E, or any other Kaba Ilco product, and you can do this in all the different finishes: polished brass, satin bronze, oil rubbed, polished chrome, satin chrome, anodized aluminum, black, Duracolor brown. You can do that in those 9 finishes. Any questions on this or any other Kaba Ilco product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.